The toys that
I love it. I think it's so cute. It's perfect. Okay, hold on, let me get ready.
his camper.
Guys, thank you for being here with me. 1, 2, 3, go. All right. Well, we are in Nashville, Tennessee with Alex and Drake White, and I'm just so grateful. Thank you for having us at your beautiful home.
Thanks.
We love Hawk.
Yeah, and that's the toy mess.
Yeah, but we like it. We like it a lot. Okay. Today's episode is incredibly special. I have 2 people with me who embody faith, grit, artistry, and the kind of love that you can carry through the highest of highs and the darkest storms. Drake White is not just a singer-songwriter, he's a storyteller, a survivor, and one of the most electrifying live performers in country music. If you've ever seen him on stage, you know his spirit is contagious. His journey has been marked by resilience, from his health battles to his rise as an independent artist who refuses to quit. His music feels like sunlight, hopeful, honest, and full of soul. And beside him is his incredible wife, Alex White, a woman of strength, of compassion, and of power. And she's so sweet. Alex isn't just the heart behind the scenes. She's Drake's partner in every sense of the word. Her courage, her vulnerability, the way she loves her family have touched thousands of people who have followed their story. She's walked through unimaginable heartbreak with grace and continues to show what perseverance, faith, and love look like in real life. Together, they make a rare team, truly authentic, grounded, and deeply connected. Over the years, we've watched their faith deepen, their marriage strengthen, and their story unfold in ways that inspire so many. Today, we get to sit down with them and talk about music, marriage, the miracles, and moments of joy, heartbreak, and the hope that has carried them forward. Thank you for being on my podcast, you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to start off. How did you guys meet?
You want to take that?
Yeah, I will.
I can go. I mean, I can do it.
I give the shortened version. He likes to give the funny long version. But his sister was my hairstylist. We knew each other through high school, went to rival high schools. And she would always tell me, oh, Drake's single, or I wish you were single, my brother's single. And then, just got the stars aligned, and we were able to get together when we were both single. And he was still in Nashville, and I was back home. And his sister was the one that was like, hey, my brother's playing. Won't you come hang?
Wow.
You guys get together. Yeah. She kind of always knew that we were supposed to be together.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So you guys have known each other a long time.
Yeah. We knew each other in high school, but really more so after college. Started to talk and hang out and date after college.
What was your first impression of her?
I mean, it's been such a long time ago. Just joy. She was always nice and a servant. She was always serving people, and that was my first impression. Just the servant spirit, servant's heart. That's the way she was. From the get. So
Yeah.
It was obviously there was no. At first, there was no romantic attraction. She was dating and actually married to one of my buddies, which is a very long story.
There's the long story.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
I was actually in her first wedding, and I say that because it's not just interesting. It's part of the tenacity that we've built amongst each other. In a small town, you do that,
Yeah.
and you fall in love, and those things happen. It's part of our story. So yeah, I was in her first wedding. And
Really cool.
we are a product of resilience, and just a product of God putting 2 people together, and you never think it was going to happen or possible, and then two win, 2 stars go left, and you're together. So it's an interesting story just of that in itself. We could talk the whole podcast about that.
I know, no joke. That'll be round 2.
Yeah.
But interesting, because I think that so many people, including myself, I obviously went through a divorce, and you do feel just like what's for me on the other side, and it's so scary. And I think that this is so great that for women to see that there is hope after divorce.
Yeah,
for sure.
I was so thankful. We knew each other so well, and he allowed me plenty of time to heal from everything that I'd been through. It was not the best situation, and not the best divorce. And so just having him know what I'd been through made things easier. And, he was just always extremely respectful and, comforting whenever
Yeah.
we were going through all of that. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. So you guys, you feel very safe together, huh?
Yeah.
And I think that's so important for a relationship
Mhm.
to feel, well, number one, to know each other thoroughly and through to be best friends, but then to feel like that's your safest place. So
Yeah.
that's really incredible.
Mhm.
That's awesome to hear. I didn't know that. And that's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Who made the first move though? When all the dust settled and you were like, huh, she's healed.
It was actually her uncle, who's no longer with us. Well, I was playing in a bar, just
Forgot
kind of
about
a,
this.
a Thanksgiving thing. I was playing in a bar, and he said, "You know, my sister's obviously a hairdresser, so she's clucking like a chicken all the time, and it's just like she's talking about Alex, and I'm like, okay, Alex this, Alex that. Alex is off limits. You know, she's my friend's ex-wife. She's off limits. Mom, you know who I saw in the grocery store? Alex Mize, and cool. Thank you, Lord. I got that. Yeah, all right. Then I see her at the show Thanksgiving. Then I come back Christmas. Thanksgiving, she had a blue shirt on. I remember she had a blue blouse on, or maybe that was Christmas. But anyway, it was a cool. Blue is my favorite color. I love blue, and I was like, man, she looks pretty hot. She looks good, and I never looked at her that way. You know,
Oh,
of
yeah.
like,
So it was like the first moment where you're like, oh my gosh.
yeah. And then her uncle said her uncle was kind of a biker dude, tatted up. You know, just a in a great way a rough dude, like,
Mhm.
and he said, you know, I've listened to these ladies clucking and a chucking, and I've heard your name come up 4 or 5 times, and that woman right there is, I've never met anybody like her, and I think we all know that what she is and how great she is, and I knew how great she was from the, like I said, the get-go. And for the first time in my, what, 28 years, 26 years, 27 years, I was like, oh, that romantic thought happened in that
Mm.
thing when this guy that I respected said, you know, nobody writes rules on this.
Hmm.
You know, and I understand that she was married to one of your buddies, and I get that, but nobody writes the rules. Love does not have rules like that.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't say that. I'm putting that, paraphrasing, but that was kind of the first day, and that Christmas show happened, and there's a whole nother wad of people involved and things involved that happened, but ultimately it was a really, really easy decision,
Mhm.
but it was a really tough thing because I lost a lot of friends, hometown
Oh.
friends. I lost a lot of people that have eventually slowly came back to us and been like,
We just took
get
it
it.
really slowly.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
So-
he knew what I'd been through and
Yeah.
just
But that's
wasn't
hard.
ready for anything.
That
Yeah.
is hard to say, like, okay, I'm gonna follow my heart, but that might mean losing people
Mhm.
along
Yeah.
the way. But it is better to follow your heart.
Yeah.
I think that's the one
For
thing
sure.
that
I mean, that's what we've been able to see, throughout the.
Mhm.
I mean, we've been married for 11 years
Yeah.
now, and we dated for almost 6 before we got married.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah.
we knew
Yeah. You knew.
we were supposed to be together. Yeah.
yeah, sitting here, I can honestly say that that's my MO. Like I always follow that gut thing.
I agree.
Always.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people don't. I know a
Mhm.
lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Because it is harder. It is hard to go at it. And, Alex, struggled with some confidence when we first met and going for that stuff. Now she cuts heads just like, I mean,
Let's
she's a
go.
boss, man.
Yeah.
It's been awesome to watch her grow in her thing.
Yeah.
But you got to follow that gut.
You have to.
And it is the hard thing. That is a lot of times it's the hard
It's
thing.
so true. I think most everybody, I not listened to it. And the path it took me down was
Yeah.
the gravity of that is it's so much better to do the harder thing that's right for your gut than to do the thing that you didn't do. Like the two forks in the road. It's so much better to trust your gut and go with it.
Yeah.
So,
And once you do it, it gets easier the next time.
oh, I agree with that. Yeah.
You're like, I can do this.
Yeah.
Build your confidence. And
Yeah. It's like facing your fears.
Yeah.
Okay. So who said I love you first?
He did.
Oh.
Yeah. He had gone on this crazy long trip to New Zealand
Oh.
and came back from the trip and told me, because I remember thinking, I love this guy. Like and I felt like he knew and I knew that we loved each other, but neither one of us had said it yet. But he came back from this 3-month trip to New Zealand and
Oh,
yeah.
that's really
Yeah.
sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you guys have been together for a very long time. And tell me, Drake, when did you start playing music?
It was actually later in life, high school was all about sports in the outdoors. And just kind of on accident, my sister's 2.5 years older, started playing, guitar around a fire singing Black Crows, like stuff like that. But then I sang and I got the opportunity, just what I didn't get the opportunity. I literally was in a fruit sale at a FFA fruit sale and heard a guy practicing Edwin McCain's "I'll Be." I said, "What are you doing, Tyler?" And he said, "I'm practicing for the beauty pageant tonight."
Wow.
And he couldn't sing it, and he said, "Why don't you sing it?" And I'd never sang, so I got up, in my creased Carhartts and my tucked-in polo shirt and frosted tips, and let it rock. And I was like, "Oh, that was easy." And I'm the kind of guy that I work hard at everything I do, and I've had to work hard. I had to work hard at football and baseball to compete. And this, I just opened my mouth and it came out.
It was just natural. Wow.
So,
That's an incredible song.
the beauty pageant.
Yeah, the beauty pageant. That Edwin McCain is one of my favorite artists. He's so talented. But I can't believe that. That's incredible. So was that the day you just got the bug? You were like, this is it?
No, I forgot about it really until I got to Auburn. I like business. I like construction. So I was going to start my own construction company. So I went to building science and engineering at Auburn, graduated. And while I was going to school there, my buddy Adam Barb said that he was broke and he'd heard me sing and he was like, "We need to start jamming and playing around here for some sororities and fraternities, and it'd be awesome." We started doing that and playing at this place called Wings to Go. And that place turned into a 2 or 3 year stint where we played every Saturday night. And me and Riley Green just played Neville Arena, so it was a full circle thing last week for the Alabama and Auburn game. But
That's so cool.
that's where it started. And I had no intention, but got bit by the bug in that bar, playing everything from Charlie Daniels to Jack Johnson and Ben Harper to ZZ Top and just every cover you could think of. And I was like, man, this is easy. It came easy to me. Rhythm and stuff like that. Like you can see in my little boy, he just exudes it. He's got it. He's got the bug. So that's when the bug bit me.
That's incredible. What did it feel like being there last week? And so, and you and Riley Green, you guys are pretty close, right? You tour together.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
We became good buddies.
His success has been incredible to watch.
Insane. So proud of him.
Insane, right? But it's been really fun to watch you guys on tour. Just in researching your career, I've been getting to see videos, and the fans love you, love your music, and love you guys. And so, but that's such a full circle moment to be back at Auburn and playing that. And so, what were your thoughts when you were standing there last week?
Just gratitude of the whole thing. I struggle a lot with just stopping. I'm very ambitious, and Alex helps with this, but like I'm always what is next.
Yeah.
Right now I'm thinking about going out here and hunting.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about everything, but I mean I'm thinking about what I'm saying, but it's also what gives me an edge but I have to balance that out. So what was it like standing up there? I just try to remember, we played Red Rocks. I'll skip to Red Rocks.
Oh gosh,
and,
beautiful.
The night before, a very prominent artist said, "Don't forget to look up at Red Rocks." And I think that's what proverbially, like I'm going to use that analogy.
Yeah.
Like, don't forget to look up.
What artist was it?
Oates, Hall & Oates.
Oh my gosh.
John Oates.
I mean, huge.
Yeah.
Huge legend.
Don't
so
forget
he
to
tells
look
you
up.
don't forget to look up.
And
Yeah.
I think music for Drake
so
too.
good.
is one of the only things that gets him in the moment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because, I mean, when he goes to hunt, he's in the woods and he's doing his own thing and he's alone, you know, and he can focus and pray, and that's his
Yeah.
time to be alone. But music truly gets him in the moment, and the storytelling and the words that he's singing and the people that he's singing to and speaking to. I think that is the one time he can kind of
Yeah.
shut it all off, the rest of the to-do list and the things that he wants to accomplish, and focus on, you know, the gift that God's given him and
Totally.
the testimony that God's given him. And so to me, to watch him last weekend at Auburn,
Yeah.
I was able to see, okay, like he's actually enjoying the moment.
Mhm.
He's living in the moment.
It's so good. It's also, like you said, it's so good that you remind him
Yeah.
to like enjoy the moment, because it's interesting. Almost every artist we've had the podcast with has said that they have a really hard time.
Yeah.
Like they'll be there and they'll be like, I enjoyed it for 5 seconds, and then I'm thinking about what's next
Yeah.
and what
Such
next
achievers.
year's. Yeah,
Mhm.
overachievers.
Dreamers and achievers.
Mhm.
But it was something, you know, me and Riley talked about it multiple times, of, you know, Mexican joints to the just crap hall fraternity parties we played, like to be in that place and to be able to raise money and just to be wanted, to be needed, you know, and
Yeah.
and it was very cool, and it was
Yeah.
a full circle moment. For
That's
sure.
so incredible, because you do work so hard for people to know your songs and making the albums. And so that brings me to, how did you get to Nashville and how did you get signed?
I graduated from a very competitive field of building science, and so when I came here, I took, you know, you had to focus in. It was a tie type thing. I had a tie and a shirt, and
Mhm.
those interviews were like, I'm gonna go. And my first job was Brentwood Baptist, the addition onto Brentwood Baptist, an 88,000 square foot, like $19 million addition onto it. And so I had to really concentrate on that. And I like that concentration. I like putting teams together.
Yeah.
And that's what a construction project is. That's what a band is.
Mhm.
That's what, you know, that's what a fraternity is. That's what I'm good at. I feel like, is putting people together, putting teams together, putting personalities together. And so I enjoyed that, but the 5 a.m. concrete pours were not conducive to loading out at Losers at 2:30 a.m.
Yeah.
And so we
By
got
the way, Winners and Losers is a place where people play live. It's near Broadway, but it's in Nashville. So yeah. So for anybody referencing, so you're playing until 2:30 in the morning, and then you're going and pouring concrete at 5:30.
Yep. So that happened, and you know, I gained 25, 30 pounds, and because you're not taking care of
Yeah.
yourself and you're trying to do all the things, and it was actually me and John Party that were playing that 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. gig on Monday nights.
Wow.
And so I was burning the candle at both ends and kind of half-assing both things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And long story short, a guy named Jeremy Stover and Brett Saliba walked in on October the 28th, 2010, into Blue Bar across the street. It's tore down now. It's actually Chewy's. And they walked in, and Brett Saliba's worked for CAA, and he was like, do you want to go on tour with Willie Nelson? And I'll never forget, I just looked at him. I was like, well, could we start with a beer first? You know,
That's
you know, like, of course. And you guys got to know Brett and my relationship. It was just like, well, yeah, man. And he was serious.
But that was such a great way to respond.
Yeah.
Because it
I
probably,
thought he was kidding.
yeah. Because you're like, this isn't real.
I was 4 years in. 4 years in. I mean, I asked Earl Woolsey, who owned Losers, who's George Strait's manager, hey, we've been playing here for 2 years. Like, is it not good? Why haven't you said anything? Just like, I'm driven, I'm pushed.
You're like, give me feedback.
I'll ask anybody.
Yeah, he'll
Anybody
always
to
say
dance.
something.
And Irv goes, I said, is it not good? He goes, nope, not yet. And he was right.
Yeah.
He was right. It was good to my standards, but like, I just went in and was like, okay, what can I keep doing to make it better? And it's, you know, it finally, ultimately, me and John are where we're at now. So
Yeah,
it
that's
got good.
incredible.
Yeah.
But it is not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
Lots
No.
of criticism, and especially now with social media. Oh my gosh.
Lots of highs and lows,
Yeah, lots of highs and lows.
and lots of hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you when you were growing up, did you ever think that you would be married to an artist, a country singer?
No, goodness. But Drake and I talk about this all the time. I have had a feeling since I was little
Yeah.
that, when things would happen in my life, good or bad, thinking about the bad of the divorce and things like that,
Yeah.
I remember thinking, like, I know that my life is meant for a bigger purpose. I know there's something out there that I'm supposed to be doing, and just I've had this feeling that something different was supposed to happen,
Yeah.
and so the just what we've been through and the
Just
testimony that we have is
this
just like,
feeling of greater.
yeah,
We were built for something great. I've always had that feeling.
Hmm.
And it's very real, and it's not always like this warm and fuzzy. She said that. I feel like I'm built for something great. Well, when you feel that way, you better get ready.
yeah. It's like as a
Mhm.
Christian, you're not called to a life of ease,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard to say that verbally out loud
Yeah.
because you're going to go through trials,
yeah.
and if you put yourself out there and you're willing to share your testimony, the trials are going to come
Oh, yeah.
too. Your testimony is
Mhm.
just going to get deeper and wider, and the Lord's just opened some different platforms for us to share portions of our testimony, and that's obviously
Yeah.
what I have felt all these years.
Yeah.
So in hopes that it would help someone else. But I never thought. I mean, I love music for sure.
Mhm.
I'm not very musical. I like to sing in the car, but
She is.
I
She's
just,
good.
I just, never
That's
thought
sweet.
like, yeah, I'm gonna marry a guy who plays music professionally.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, look what God does, with going through something as hard as a divorce, going through with trust issues and things like that. Then God goes, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put you with a musician. That's
Right.
going to be gone 200 days a year.
Yeah.
That's what I'll do. And Drake, I'm going to put you with a kindergarten teacher,
Yeah.
somebody that's going to keep, just got pointy edges and going to keep you
The
in line and
checklist
going to
and
keep you accountable and ask you about every time you walk in with, bloodshot eyes, every time, and that accountability for us has always been my accountability for her is, hey, loosen up, or hey, don't let them run over you like that,
Right.
or
Right.
hey, her accountability for me is, hey, tighten up,
Mhm.
Right.
hey, don't drink that, hey, be nice to them,
Yeah.
you need to go to that, you need to come to here, you don't need to do that. Quit
Well,
doing
It's
that.
so good
just
though.
like
It's
the
so good. It's
standard-
important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just I'm like the standard that, we need to have as a family of who we are
Yeah.
and who God says we are.
But it's so amazing how just that the people that you surround yourself, if they don't bring you to a greater place, like
Yeah.
help you rise, you
Mhm.
need people to. And it's so what's beautiful about your relationship, you both want that.
Mhm.
But so many people just don't. They just want somebody to love them and like they don't ever have to change. And I feel like, gosh, what a sad existence, because I want to be around people that are going to make me better by helping me rise every
Yeah.
single day.
Yeah.
We say all the time in our arguments, in the middle of like a heated argument,
Mhm.
she'll be like, okay, well, I just won't say anything.
Yeah.
I won't say anything. And I'll just be your pretty little wife and just sit here. And in my head, she knows that's the trigger to like, well, that's not what I want
Right.
either. I need that juxtaposition. That's the wrong word. I use that word too much, but like, I need that accountability.
Yeah.
I do, because the world is, I've declared the name of Jesus. I've declared that I want to live this way. I've declared that I'm built for greatness. Okay. If you've declared that, here comes the
Buckle up and get ready.
Yeah.
here comes the pain, here comes the heartache,
Right.
because that is what wisdom is built out of, is that stuff.
It's
And
so true. It's a storm.
Yeah.
It's I literally was just saying like it's after the pain is the promise you were made for. It's just, but if you will self-reflect and if you will sit in it, if you
Mhm.
sit with the pain, but we have a world right now, especially our phones, everything, where we can just go get a dopamine hit at any point. And I think one of the reasons why I was like, I really want to start the podcast was I was like, all these exceptional people have these incredible stories of setbacks and heartbreak or loss or health issues. And then we don't really necessarily get to hear those stories. We get to see the highlight reel of everybody's lives, but we don't know that there's like actually a ton of setbacks that they had to go through to get there. And so that leads me into just your health journey has been really fascinating to find out about, but it's honestly amazing that with all that you've gone through with your health, that you are just still singing and just living such a full career. And so will you share about what happened with your health?
Yeah. Well, the reason that I am is because the person sitting beside me, because of God, because of prayer, because of my parents and her parents, the support group that we have inside of that, the OTs, the PTs, the doctors, but all of that, the support group is, is huge, but the whole concept of having something to work towards and look forward to, having the stage or having a pheasant hunt or a duck hunt or a deer to go hunt, or having a baby to look forward to and our son. Early 2019, I got a headache. The headache put me in an MRI, showed that I had what's called a arterial venous malformation, an AVM. And it's just a wad of veins and arteries. There was a 2% chance of it rupturing. They needed 8 embolizations to embolize it, which is a fancy word for gluing it shut. Running a catheter up my femoral artery into the back of my brain, squeezing it shut. We're going to do those on Monday, Tuesday. I can be back on the road on Thursday. I can rest Wednesday and be back on the road on Thursday, Friday with some blood pressure medicine. And Bob's your uncle. We're good. I can keep going with Zach Brown. I can keep going to Australia. Dodged a bullet. Let's go. 4 embolizations into it, and halfway through the touring season, August of 2019, the 16th of August, I go to Roanoke, Virginia, and I hear a gunshot go off in my head, literally, and had a stroke on stage in Roanoke. And, here we are, paralyzed on my left side, couldn't walk, couldn't squeeze Alex's hand. So I go from Fenway Park with Zach Brown to all these tours and all these people saying how great it was, and I'm going to change the world, to why God, why am I paralyzed and Alex is having to help me use the bathroom? And we've got, I remember, this is very vivid, but I had to pass I don't think I had peed in like 2 or 3 days. Or maybe it was a bigger job than peeing. I don't know.
Surely.
But I had to pass that test to keep from getting a coloscopy back. Oh, how do you say that?
Yeah.
You remember how worried I was? I was like, wait a minute. I'm drawing the line there.
So
I can't.
Well, and
when he had his
gravity of that.
stroke,
Right.
he was had complete left side neglect. So could not move anything on his left side. So during the first portion of that time when he was in the hospital and couldn't get out, he couldn't tell when he needed to go to the bathroom. And so it was kind of like, okay, if you can't go to the bathroom on your own, we're going to have to assist you and help you here. So, I mean, it got to the point to where, it was that bad to where we weren't sure, if he was ever going to be able to do those things again.
Yeah.
But slowly but surely with physical therapy and the right team of doctors and nurses and therapists.
And I've always been delusional, proud to say, like, I'm a delusional person, like, as far as like, okay, when are we going to Australia?
Yeah.
I'm sitting in with a bag with this going on, like, she's about to give me an enema to make it happen.
Right.
And I'm like, when are we going to Australia? When we do, and Alex is like looking at me like, what are you talking about? Because I didn't realize the gravity of everything. Oh, we have to go through extensive Vanderbilt, and that is if you can get back to stage.
Right.
If you can get back to even singing, because my singing was Eddie Vedder, vein popping.
Right.
It was like, it's a different thing than George. I love George Strait, but it's a different thing. So that was the weight of that was like, oh, I'm in this for 3, 4, 5 years. I'm 6 years into it. I still have a limp. I still have numbness in this left hand. I still get short fuse sometimes, and I still, all the things that a traumatic brain injury does. But I promised God in that moment that if He let me sing, that I would tell this story, that I would help people see the light. And that's what basically our mission is today is just helping people see the light of no matter how dark it gets. We've all had people with suicide have bouts with that, and I've had an uncle that committed suicide a couple of years ago.
I'm so
Friends,
sorry.
thank you, that have committed. And I never understood suicide, but now I understand that black abyss and that black hole. And so through documentaries and through all this stuff, that's what we're trying to do. But not to be long-winded here, but like Alex, right out of my, people are like, oh, well, he had a stroke. Right out of the stroke was the pandemic. So we couldn't play. So that's 2 years, right in the middle of 35 years old. We're right in the middle of our getting there.
Yeah.
We've done our 10 years in our 10-year town, and boom, 2 years happened. What is that about, God? Why did you do that?
Right.
I'm starting to understand. Then Alex goes numb from her breast down.
Yeah.
She's paralyzed. We had to get people asked me what we did. We got our moms to come back and basically live with us.
Yeah.
Our parents would just rotate. His parents, my parents.
Oh my
his parents,
goodness.
my parents.
Then all during that, we're going through 7 years of infertility, of back and forth to IVF, back and forth to this, back and forth to that. Come out of that, get dropped by labels, get picked up, get this, get that, the tumultuous nature of that. And then, we have our son, big victorious thing. I'm scared to death because, I don't know if I can catch a 80-mile-an-hour fastball, and he's probably going to have one. I did,
Yeah.
And so all these doubts, and God just slowly shows us, untangling the fishing line was a big one for me. How am I going to teach him to fish? And just little things happen as we go along. And then Alex gets a little better, and then she gets sick again. She comes out of it, and then we lose a child, at the first part of this year. And it's like, when does this end? And then our bus has a wreck in the middle of the night.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
when did that happen?
About 2 months ago.
Yeah, 6 weeks ago.
I'm sorry, that's scary.
The bus driver had a stroke at the end.
Had a stroke.
Oh
at the
my
wheel.
gosh.
He's doing much better, but it was very scary.
Oh,
for the
very
band and
scary.
crew and,
My point in saying all that is we say now, you never know what somebody's going through.
You don't.
You see, the stroke is enough. I shouldn't have been able to return from the stroke. By the grace of God, and Alex and everybody else, we got back, and it's because of Jesus. And I will say that till I die.
Yeah, we have so many, crazy miracles that happened from his health scare and, stroke to my health scare, just all of with infertility. There's just so many, moments where God was just right there with us the whole time. And then you just have these miracle moments that you can't explain other than God. Yeah.
You when I met you, it's so interesting when he said that, because I thought the same thing. I was like, she's just joy, you're sunshine, so beautiful inside and out. And you were sharing about how much you wanted to have a baby. And we went, my sister, me, you, we went to dinner together, and we were all at conference together. And I just remember praying so much for you guys, because I was like, she's going to be the most amazing mom. And
you would text me and you'd tell me just randomly, praying for you.
I'm like, because I know, because I was like,
and we've stayed connected all these years. That was before his stroke.
I know.
I think it was the year Landon and I were talking. I think it was the year before he had his stroke.
I just truly loved you the minute I met you. And I think everybody feels that way with you. And so when you went through IVF for 7 years, you got pregnant with Hawk. Will you tell us about the experience?
So we struggled with, getting pregnant, and we're back and forth if that was the right thing for us, and then we had actually done several rounds of IUIs at Nashville Fertility with no success. And then I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes and a really rare autoimmune disorder called CIDP, which causes chronic neuropathy. And so I had to have all these treatments. And then once we got that under my belt and was like, okay, I'm at a point where I'm healthy, let's revisit trying to have a baby. And went back to the fertility clinic after several months of trying on our own. And we thought probably diabetes was like, the main reason we couldn't get pregnant. But just that totally wasn't it. And it was just undiagnosed infertility, really. And went through egg retrieval and went through IVF. And our first round was successful with Hawk.
Oh,
yeah. So, and we didn't find out if we were having a boy or girl. So we didn't know the day he was born if it was a boy or girl. So he's just the sweetest, biggest blessing. Yeah, I love being a mom. I love
You're such a great mom.
his sweet energy. He's just so fun. It's like I chase around a mini Drake all day.
I mean, I literally, when I walked in, I was like, and
He
how
looks just like Drake.
he looks just like Drake. And then he's so musical. I took video of him playing with the musical instruments, so I'm gonna play it.
He told her acoustic guitar.
Yeah, he said acoustic guitar to me. I was like, wow. And he was like, bass. Like,
he'll be like xylophone.
He will.
Way to go! Yep. Yes. Yes.
He'll tell you, oh, I love brass instruments,
Wow.
He's obsessed. He's been obsessed for a while now.
Yeah, I was telling her 9
Yeah,
months
like
old.
9 months old. I mean, like
Hanging on the
father,
drums.
like son, which is so sweet.
But he keeps me on my toes because he's as busy as his dad.
What advice would you give to women who are struggling with infertility right now?
I have a really amazing, we have an amazing support system.
Yeah.
My parents, Drake's parents, our siblings, like everyone is so sweet and supportive and rallied around us and prayed, and precious friends that would go to church with me and place their hand on my womb. And I think it's so important to have a community, whether it's God-given family or the family that you're able to choose through friendship, to have them around you praying for you and know that they're, walking this journey with you. I can't imagine doing it alone and not having someone to confide in or talk to about. I would sit and journal and pray and write down, what we were going through, and then have a dinner with one of my girlfriends and just be able to talk about how because the hormone, you pump your body with so many hormones. It's not an easy thing to go through. And especially if you were going through this alone, it would become a very dark place. You lose, who you are. You're only following a specific schedule. You're doing exactly what the doctors say. You can't even go to dinner because you have to give yourself an injection at a certain time.
Right.
So you kind of lose your identity of who you are and what, you did prior to all of these, hormonal medications that you have to do and steps. And so, I think it's so important to have your closest family and friends around you to support you and remind you, this is who you are, and you're going through, because I would have doubtful days like this is too much.
Yeah. Well, also you don't feel like yourself.
He's gone a lot. He travels a ton. So, for something that the husband would typically have injected in their hip, I was having to figure out a way to get this done.
Right.
Or have a friend come over and inject. And so, I think just having your community is really important, especially going through anything difficult. But infertility, our doctors were amazing too. Dr. Megan Smith was my doctor at Nashville Fertility. And, we went through another round of IVF, and our daughter had a really rare genetic disorder. We knew kind of early on. And we're very hopeful and prayerful that they were wrong, but she ended up passing away. I went into labor and she passed away at 29 weeks. And so, the doctors were so kind and supportive and reached out to me personally and continued to check on us and send us, cards and gifts in memory of our daughter, Della. So it's just really important to have that community of people that you know and love and trust.
Will you tell us more? So Della Elizabeth.
Yeah, Della Elizabeth. She's named after both of my grandmothers. Yeah, Della Joyce and Doris Elizabeth. So we knew we had a girl name picked out from the beginning. Yeah, and knew that she was going to be a girl.
Oh.
Yeah. So we did a transfer in March, and then went in for our anatomy scan and
Yeah.
found out that there were potentially a genetic disorder, but they, it was really rare, so they couldn't tell anything on the scan, so we had to do all the blood tests to know the specifics. Yeah. So,
And how was that?
so I feel like this whole journey of the medical world that we've been in for so long prepared me.
Yeah.
It wasn't so scary and unknown.
Yeah.
And to sit in a doctor's office and to plan out like so many specifics of what the birth could potentially look like wasn't very far from talking with a neurosurgeon about the risk factors, life or death, with him and his procedures. So it was like God had prepared us for that moment in those rooms. Not that it was easy by any means, but, we were always able to go to these appointments together. And so having each other there and knowing that, we've been through some really hard things and medical related things,
Yeah.
So it made it, a little bit easier to go through something like that,
Oh my goodness.
having the history that we do and each other together. So
How did you find? Did you go into labor or did?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
My water broke here at home, and they told me it could potentially happen with genetic disorders. There's like a thinner layer,
Yeah.
with your membranes, and so they told me I could potentially go into labor, and I did. I went in early. We thought I would probably go in sooner, and he was on the road, and had to get him here.
Yeah, that's another thing. She goes into labor. I'm on the road. We have a buddy. I had a buddy lined up, like, hey, if this happens, let me get your plane. And we jump on a plane, get back here, boom. So I'm from a stage from that type of thing to like, okay, now we know what we got to do. We know that she's potentially, she's not going to, live long. So we're going to have this very, very deep, heavy
quick
thing,
moment.
you
Yeah.
know? And it had been 29, 30 weeks of that heaviness of watching this person that we just explained her as joy. And, but for 29, 30 weeks, it was a very dark place, and music was my light. So getting to go out there and have that gave me a thing, gave
Like an outlet.
gave us an outlet.
Yeah.
So in every time that there's been just extreme darkness, he's always shown me the light. He's always gave us just this little ray of hope, like keeping on. And I think that's what we've learned from it. Where's the light?
Yeah.
Where's the light in all this?
I kept saying, we've been through a lot, and it's not been the easiest, and it's, difficult what he went through, what I went through. And then, of course, with infertility and then losing our daughter. And I'm like, this one just felt extra hard.
Oh yeah.
And I was
It's
like,
too much. It's too much. I was like,
but in the moment we were like,
please
we've
enough.
been through enough to know that God has a plan and a purpose in and through this, no matter how hard. And, there are still days where, I have moments of sadness and the what ifs and the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, but I also have more hopeful moments of what, God has shown us in and through it.
Yeah.
The blessing of our 2.5-year-old talking on baby monitor right now, I am a optimistic person.
Yeah.
Drake is too. And so, it was a little bit harder to find the positives like outside of what our current situation. But I was like, we've been through enough to know God's going to get us through this, and he has a bigger plan and purpose in and through all of this, as hard as it may be. And the whys of this is too much right now that I can handle. But I'm like, God knows what's on the other side of this.
It honestly makes me tear up just thinking about it. Just like holding your baby. Like
we had 20 minutes with her.
Yeah, it makes me. Ugh.
Yeah, but we knew going into it, I like a plan, and our doctors were very thorough, and they said this is potentially what can happen, and they really prepared us. They were amazing. Our doctor's name was Dr. Grace, and we had prayed for God's grace and mercy going into it, and then we show up and the doctor's name is Dr. Grace. So just, little God wink moments like that where you're like, okay,
Yeah.
Lord, I hear you, I see you. And we had 20
Yeah.
minutes with her. Our pastor came and spent some time with us and her, so just some sweet, like holy, heavenly moments.
Yeah.
In and through the darkness, for
I think
sure.
one of the best piece of advice we got is from our Sunday school teacher that is just turned into a good buddy. And he was like, hey, in this time, and he called me very like walking on eggshells because nobody knows how to, especially dudes. We're just like, how do you even? And he said, be sure like she can hear you, in the womb. Like, be sure you tell her about, her brother and her mom and
who
everything.
you are and who her family is.
Is the lump in your throat that just saying that, like,
Yeah.
it's still just it's life. And if you want to break it down in its simplest form, we said we were made for greatness.
Yeah.
What are we going through? Why are we going through it? And who can we help? Who can we help through it? That because that's what we're doing. I mean, why would we go through all this stuff? I just named 6, 7, 8 things. It's just like there's not a reason other than His kingdom.
And that's what people were like, I know God can do a miracle in this baby, and I remember thinking, I know He can, and I've seen the miracles that God does, but now the miracle's different, and I just kept my prayer turned to God's will be done. Like, God, your will be done. Like, remove me from the equation and my desires and what I want, and then your will be done. Yeah. And so it's hard to explain that to someone.
But it really puts in perspective too of like everybody talks about all the hate in the world and to go into the Fox and CNN stuff of like, we got to love, we got to this. Well, going through this, man, I've got so much empathy and sympathy for the people on the side of the street, the road. You never know what their story is.
That's right.
I don't know what,
Yeah.
your son's story is. I don't know what your story is. The story is, I love that saying, if you knew anybody's whole story,
So true.
you'd probably like them. You'd probably love them.
I know, I agree.
Because it doesn't matter if they're,
compassion and
Yes.
empathy. And,
just the most
empathy.
ruthless, evil looking person from the outside looking in. If you knew their whole story, what is their story? And I think,
So true.
and I didn't know I wanted to be a storyteller till I was I'm a storyteller.
I know you are.
So tell the story, and then you come in here and you see Alex is navigating all this, and like all it is making us wiser. Wiser. Why did I say it like that? Wiser
Yeah.
to
but
go
no,
in
it's true.
and help people. That's
Yeah.
the only sense I can make out of it.
It's like the
Because-
greater the calling, it's usually the harder the story.
Yeah. Well, and I told Drake when we got the day we got the news in the doctor's office, we were both in just such disbelief. And I just I'm such a visual learner, and God knows that about me. So
Yeah.
He shows me things visually. And I saw the word equip, like visually in my mind. And I remember getting in the car and we were just like, what did they just say? And I just said, I don't know exactly what they just said, but God is telling me He will equip us.
Yeah. Oh,
Whether it's with people or with words or with our own emotions and actions, He's going to equip us to get through this,
Right.
whatever the outcome.
Mm.
And I just kept reminding myself of that, when I would have these like dark days and the next 2-week wait for an appointment and confirmation of whatever we were waiting on, I'm like, God will equip us. He's going to help us get through this.
Yeah.
And God knew that I needed to see that and I needed to hear that.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you battle mentally too, like all this stuff. I just 6, 7, 8 things, like very, very hard things. And there's no time to mention the 12 things in between those things.
Like even just how you said getting dropped by labels, even that is just getting dropped.
That could be the
signed,
hardest thing to somebody.
Jake, that's
The
what
hardest thing in their life.
That's what I was thinking. Like I have so many friends in this industry. Like same with me. Like got signed, and then the head of the label gets fired, and then all of a sudden you're shelved, and your career is so. I mean, it's like you said. There's so many ups
Highs
and
and
downs,
lows
but there's not a lot of stability in it. And so unless you're at the very top, and even that is like, hard to be.
Well, there's no stability in any on this life on earth.
That's
If
right.
you search for this earth for stability, you're going to be disappointed. And we've got
That's good.
Galatians 5:16 hanging in our room. You know, walk in the Spirit, and you will not give into the lust of the flesh. Everything on this earth is flesh. You know, we're not meant to be on this earth.
No.
That's not what we're for, and that could be that is the greater thing, but it is. And I'm telling everybody out there, like, there is no way. If you're struggling, like, you can be watching this, and everybody's like, "Well, what? How did they this?" It's Jesus.
Yeah.
It is prayer. It is Jesus. Like, surrender to the Scripture, surrender to the Word, because you can't do it on your own. And you can try, and you can push, and you can say He's the one that takes away the fun, but it's not. It's not true. It's the truth is it's the only way. It's the only way that we can be sitting here and be okay with losing a child, having a stroke, having an autoimmune disorder, having a bus wreck, having 2 drop record deals, having, I don't even want to go into any more. There's so many good things that came out of that, but though people ask us how we get through, and that's the only way. And if you're struggling with that right now, like, you have to surrender to it. Not in like I've rebelled against the religious dogma of the Baptist Southern Convention of of
How he was raised.
of Jim
but no.
Bob Jackaway or whoever it is. Like, I've rebelled against that for sure. I'm talking about the real deal dude that you go, what is going on? Please help me. If you cry out to that and your heart is right, he will help you.
Yeah.
And
I did a Bible study years ago, and one of the things, it was a Beth Moore study, and she said, the moment you plant your feet on the ground, you should say, Holy Spirit, please lead me, guide me, and protect me. And we now do that with our son when he wakes up every morning. And thank you, God. Holy Spirit, please lead us, guide us, and protect us in this day. And I remember, as simple as it is, just repeating that over and over and over again when I was going through the darkest days, because it's not my control.
No.
It's not me in control anymore. It's like, God, you're in control. I can't do this alone. Holy Spirit, lead me, guide me, and protect me in this, because the wisdom is not from me, it's from God.
And speaking good things about yourself.
Yes.
I am equipped. I am
Yes.
this.
God equips
Like
me.
speaking life over your life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lord, protect me. We know that we are in a spiritual warfare. Protect me from any evil bonds or any evil things that my ancestors have created, or any sin. Protect us against all that.
Right.
Protect this house. Put a hedge of protection around our vehicles, around our buses, around our immune systems, around our eyes, around our fingers. Like, help me write these songs where people go, I have to have that.
Yeah.
Help
When
me.
he, just in a dark spot where you're just battling these negative thoughts in your head, and he was out of town. He had to leave and go do some shows, and I just remember having my Bible in my bed, reading in my bed, and thinking, God, like, I just need your word, like, to pour over me, to be on me. And my friend Lindy does this all the time, and so I thought, you know what? I just put my hand on my Bible and slept with my Bible in my bed.
She sleeps with her Bible
And
when
so
I'm not here.
when I'm fearful, or when the negative, the enemy wants to whisper things in my ear, God's word is my sword. And I literally just have it in my bed with me, hand on the Bible, fall asleep, because I know God's going to protect me. My thoughts may not, but God.
I
God's
can't
word is
imagine.
strong.
I say, like, the last few years have been some of the hardest years of my life, and really led me to doing this, because I was like, well, I think people feel really alone in their pain. And I know they're not, because we're all going through it. We all have setbacks. We all have pain. So I was like, you know what? In those moments, though, I can't even imagine my life without prayer.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine. Like, there's so many nights that I was like, I don't even know what tomorrow will bring. I don't even know what this is. I don't even know how to get through this heartbreak or this pain. And being able to fall asleep and pray, and even being able to fall asleep was such a gift. The biggest thing I want to do with this podcast is really inspire people that they are not alone,
Yeah.
that you are not alone in your pain at all. It's unfortunate that pain is inevitable on this journey.
Mm-hmm.
And there is so much hope, though. There's so much hope. And I think just even hearing you guys talk, really amazed by is just how much you love each other, how much you are so together. And also just that, like you said, you're speaking life over your life. You're speaking words of life over your life, even though you've been through so much that, like one of those things, let alone two, would have taken most people down. You have been through it. And I think that God's just using your story of resilience. Do you work with charities?
We do.
Yeah.
We have
Can
a
you
few.
tell me about them?
Yeah. So one of the charities that we work closely with is called Agape to the Nations.
Okay.
And we actually did a mission trip right before he had found out about the AVM to Haiti with them.
Oh, yeah.
And they do a lot of work in Haiti and then the Dominican.
Yeah.
So we work with them, and they create homes for children who have aged out of orphanages there,
Yeah.
which is really young. The
Yeah.
foster care, like they don't have, rules and regulations there. So, we've worked with them a good bit, and safe housing and education and a church. We worked with them. Drake actually helped build some of the houses in the church
Aw.
building itself.
Yeah.
They're really good friends of
I
ours.
got to go to Haiti too.
Oh gosh.
And work in and serve in the orphanage.
yeah,
What do you feel giving back to the community does for you? And why do you think it's important for other people to do it?
I have such a servant heart by nature. I'm a helper by nature. And Drake is too. He does a show called Benefit for the Brain, and they raise awareness around mental health awareness and give to organizations that, whether it's veterans or children, people who stroke victims who have gone through what he's gone through. But it's just the most fulfilling thing to be a part of.
Yeah.
The Lord was such a servant. And I feel like when you serve other people, you're humbling yourself enough to be like Christ on earth, the hands and feet.
Yes.
And so when we're serving and when we're working within these organizations, or he's on stage, I feel like God is like, you're the hands and feet. Be the hands and feet. Yeah. And so to me, that's why I love to serve and be a part of organizations like Agape to the Nations and Nashville Anti-Human Trafficking. You just say, Lord, use me, and then he'll send you.
I love that.
And so I think that's kind of where we both have just kind of surrendered with what we've gone through to just say, okay, Lord, I know this is a hard situation right now, but use it for your good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even just the way people served you and loved on you.
Oh, my goodness.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, even if maybe people don't necessarily get involved with a nonprofit, which we would hope they would, but it's just even just loving your neighbor and really reaching out and being and loving your community,
Yeah. I don't know what we would do without our precious church community, our friends, our family. Yeah, just helping one another. So, it doesn't have to be monetarily at all.
That's right. Yeah.
It's like with your hands, your actual feet.
Time. Don't you feel so much better
talents.
after you do it too?
Oh, yeah. Just
so rewarding.
Yeah. Truly, he'll say, okay, Al, you got to make sure like you're filling yourself too. You're emptying yourself. You're emptying your bucket. You got to make sure you're filling yours too. And to me, a lot of times it's more rewarding to do that, just to empty my bucket.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. What both of you, what do you hope your legacy is?
I don't I don't think about legacy much. I like that word, but I don't think about. I've kind of got into in history and stuff. Like at the end of the day, this house will be bulldozed over, and after we die, about 120 years goes by, and I think the warm and fuzzy, it's Jesus. I hope we're known for somebody that recklessly sought after Jesus and was
unashamed.
I was about to say ballsy. Was ballsy about it.
I like that
it was
word.
Like,
I'm not gonna use that word.
Yeah.
It's like
unashamed to tell people.
Just
about
unashamed
God.
to tell people the truth and the right. Like, hey, those people, man, they lived on this earth, and Hawk's gonna know. If you want to go skydive, jump out of the plane. You know, if you want to go,
Yeah.
what that's a weird thing to say, but it's
No,
true.
I know what you mean, like
If
courageous.
you want to go do it, dig in and do it.
Yeah.
You know,
Don't be scared to
and
share your faith, share your story.
but
Yeah.
it's a Christ centered thing for me. It's the legacy just needs to be him. I don't care what
Yeah, just
when they see Drake White, Alex White, Hawk White, just Jesus.
I love that. That's a great legacy. Truly.
Yeah.
And I do feel like you guys totally like embody that, and you are such a light for the Lord, and also just such an inspiration. So okay, I could talk to you. I want to do like a part 2 so bad with you guys. But he's got to go hunting, you guys.
Yeah.
And
Gotta get in the woods.
yeah, so but no, thank you so much. And I so want to sit down and talk about Nashville with you, just because we have so many like
Yeah.
stories to talk about.
We can. It's
another music podcast.
That would be so much fun. And
yeah.
I just would love it, because I think Drake's an independent artist, and I was asking him, like, would you wish you were signed? Would you wish you weren't? And it's such an interesting conversation to be had. And I think artists would love it. But can I end with what advice would you give to a young artist who really looks up to you?
You better make sure you love it.
Yes, that's great.
You better make sure you love it. And, you know, being good and being in rhythm, being able to catch all that stuff is great. And I know that I don't want that to sound jaded. It's the best thing ever. It's a good gig.
Yeah.
And I won't, Hawk is showing that he might be a drummer. And you're like, all right, that's
Buckle
the
up.
heaviest
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Buckle up. But man, just block it all out. Songs win. What you got in your head, take this for what we don't have long enough to go into this, but
Yeah.
take less advice.
Mhm.
You don't have to ask if the song's good to everybody. If you dig it, I heard Andre 3000, which is my favorite hip hop. I love country and soul, but like, Andre 3000 with
Outcast.
Outkast
Yeah.
is my favorite hip hop stuff.
So good.
And all of his friends hated his music.
Really?
They were
I
like,
didn't know that.
this music sucks. And he just had this, if it's ticking in your head, there's a reason that it's ticking. Stick to it. And it takes a lot. It takes a lot of grit, but man, hang in there and stay in there with it. My superpower is I'll never quit. I do not quit. And I've,
I always say
I
he's the
won't quit.
Energizer Bunny.
If it's after a deer out here or after a song or if it's after, Alex, something that we're doing with, benefit for the brain or, Haiti or whatever, like pick me,
Yeah.
choose me because
You're the racehorse.
Yeah.
and
Never gonna
Bet
stop.
on him.
that's my favorite. You said we're going to end on a movie thing.
Yeah.
My favorite movie quote is that I think it's in Ephesians where what's the name of the movie? He's sitting there and he says, "Who will you choose? Who will you choose to go before us and protect us?" And in this movie, the soldier, they're about to go into this battle, and he's like, "Choose me."
Yeah.
And I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Whom shall I send? And who will go for us?" And I said, "Here am I. Send me." Isaiah chapter 6.
And if you say that, if you signed up for it and you accepted Christ and you accepted the cross,
Mission. Yeah.
the mission, then put your boots on, man, and let's go.
Because
Like-
it's a wild ride.
Yeah.
So I'd say choose me, like choose me, and that's what you're doing when you say, "I want to be a musician, I want to be an artist." You're saying, choose me to be vulnerable. I'm going to be the conduit for the people that can't speak.
That's right.
I'm going to be the voice for the people that can't write. I'm going to stand in the void. I'm going to stand in the when you say you're going to be when you're going to be an artist, you're going to be cut.
That's
And
right.
you got to be able to have Band-Aids and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good advice. So I feel like that was like the best advice for an artist ever. Just you better work hard and you better be able to take it because, and then I love what you said. You can't listen to everybody's advice because if you feel like if you get the chills from it and you stick with it, you have so many artists like who like I had the song for 15 years and like Chris Stapleton. It becomes cool once it's cool.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that your stuff isn't
Don't
amazing.
let the industry dictate what you do.
Yeah, that's
just
good.
the industry is special. It's a cliquey thing, and I'm not being. They've been good to me. They've been left to me, up to me, down to me, right, and it's all good. Don't let somebody dictate what you do. Let that little
Gut feeling.
gut buzz be it, and that's
so
it.
good.
No questions asked. That's what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm talking about. About make the right decision, do good things, do the right thing. Do the right thing over and over and over. And that compounding that's just in life. That's in
that's
art.
so good.
Follow that thing,
Oh, you guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. Thank
So
you.
much. Oh my gosh.
It's
you're
so
precious.
sweet to think,
I know.
like you were a part of the
I know.
prayers for. We always talk. My friend Lindy, that I mentioned her name. I always say, like, our son is as much yours as he is. I know.
Thank you for spending time with us today. The heart of the podcast is to highlight incredible stories of hope and the gift of giving back. I'm truly loving learning about each guest nonprofit and the impact they're making. If you'd like to learn more or get involved, you can find links to every charity mentioned on my YouTube and my Instagram under each episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.